Hello and welcome back for episode 5 of the Cricket Empire. This will also be our final installment, and you'll understand why by the end of the video. I was experiencing some technical difficulties, so I was unable to record the first portion, and this is my first attempt at a voiceover, so it might be not timed correctly, but I'm going to present you with all the facts I can. You can see the farm is quite a bit different than where I left you last time, and that's because I sold all the silage. You can see the silos missing, and I sold some other things we didn't need, like the greenhouse, which was incredibly unproductive. 6 months, and I sold a full load for 15,000. Not worth keeping around. I also sold the honey gathering spot and some other things. Oh, the extra water well, the mill that was up front because it was too noisy, and I rearranged the farm a little more organized and a little more conducive to how I want to farm. But then I also made some other purchases. Well, the big one is I purchased a house, which we're still not panning to. Like I said, there might be timing issues. But I also purchased a dealership, which I should be showing pretty soon. The dealership I purchased because every time you return an implement, we're on this now. All right, this is showing that the 23 farms are still not able to keep up with the 4 mills. You can see there's 85 crickets in each farm. The mills are already up to 800 apiece, and I just sold all the flour, and it was a big haul of money. Well, you can see 270,000 I have. So this is a very profitable venture, but there are limitations. Again, you'll find these out as we go along, okay? One of the, I think here we go. Yeah, we go to the dealership. So that little building is a dealership. And the dealership, as we know, is a more economical way to purchase and repair your Don't worry about the truck. Don't ask questions. Mistakes were made. Sometimes you flip your cars too. I know you do. Be honest. But the reason I bought the dealership was just to be a little more profitable when it comes to paying leases, selling used equipment, and that sort of thing. If you know, I had the special delivery mod where I would just make that pink dot and everything would show up, but you don't get the same perks and bonuses as you would with a dealership. So you also can see in the background that I have some planting or some grass, I have a plant going on, okay? Help me with words. I wanted to plant sorghum because I need a new side hustle. Prickly pears wasn't getting it done. The greenhouse wasn't getting it done. And I had an idea. So I leased a planter, a John Deere. And see, I don't know why people use the hand tools. I leased that planter and the seed and the fertilizer. It was all together I believe less than 500 or certainly less than $700. But I made a mistake when I put the seed in. I didn't change it to sorghum. I planted wheat. The unfortunate thing is wheat takes 7 months to mature. Sorghum takes 4. So I'm not sure we can do the same side hustle. Now, I also have a mod conflict between the mod that allows you to create fields with a cultivator and a new one I downloaded yesterday, which was construction screen expansion, which promised me I could make fields by creating something like a fence around a piece of land. The unfortunate thing is that's incredibly expensive and they don't make very big fields. So I wanted to uninstall that mod, but because this is a saved game, I cannot reopen this game without all the mods that it was saved with. So I have to keep that one on, which means we have a new challenge in this goal, and that we have to make a cricket empire without combining fields, which, I don't know, it's kind of exciting to me. I don't know how we're going to do it, but that just puts a little bit more importance on the side hustle, and I'll tell you more about that as we go along. I don't know why I keep panning over the field. Of course, I can't hear the original audio. It was crazy distorted. Oh yeah, here I'm talking about, I like to automate everything because on another save, I combine these fields. I play this map pretty much exclusively because I like to make giant farms. And when you do that, you have to automate everything. I know I've been automating all along here, and some of you may think that's kind of a cheap way or a cheese way. It's not so important now to automate, but I like to set the foundation because when I get a giant farm, really all you can do is automate things. So I did sell the cricket flour. There were about 11 skids per 11 to 12 per mill, and that's how I got the 270. Today our goal is going to be expanding the cricket farm a little bit further. Eventually I want to fill my property with cricket farms, but also I want to consider getting a farmer's market. And again, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. I don't know what I'm panning over now. This is way more nerve-wracking than trying to narrate while I'm playing, so I'm not exactly sure where we're at. I did tell you about the mods. Oh, and the flip truck. Yeah. I'm going to tell you show you the house a little bit later on in the video, and I'm not going to tell you how the truck flipped, and it turns out I'm also not going to flip it back over because this is the last entry into the Cricket Empire. And I'm going to go off script now because I don't like floundering for words. It turns out 30 cricket farms is about the max you can have. After that, the game just crashes. So I do add more cricket farms up to 30, but as I'm activating them, they just begin to crash and the game can't go further. So even if I had a side hustle, this is as big as we're going to get for crickets. And I believe part of my technical difficulties is related to the size of the farm that we had. My load screen now with the music that's too loud in the green field, anyways, for this map, is 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And I believe that's attributed to the number of mods as well as the number of cricket farms now. I think it's just too complicated. So here we're looking at getting a farmer's market. You can see it's 180 grand. There are cheaper ones, but I'm just not willing to take the chance on, well, for instance, that sell-all we had only accepted grass. So if it's a mod, I really don't want to put it on. This is not a mod. This is what's used in the game. This is what we drive to sell our stuff. So I'm going to want to put this in. You can see I'm struggling with overlap something. There's nothing there to overlap, but here is about the only place I was able to find where I could set the farm, which is not as convenient as I would like, but it's going to have to work. So we put this farm down, and then we're going to try to work on expanding the cricket farm. And that's about all that happens in this episode. Just for a pointer here, if you're looking to put a sell station and the icons don't scroll over, it's probably not gonna, well, then you have no idea of knowing whether you can sell your product there. So we're gonna get some more cricket farms. You can see we have 90,000 left. I like to orient my cricket farms, as I'm demonstrating here, with paths, so that when it comes time to pick things up, I can just make one drive through the middle. Because we have a path just to the left of that long row, we're starting a new path here. So I'm going to put the cricket farm in the opposite way of the other ones. That puts my triggers on the right-hand side so that we can just drive down this row. And then when we expand further, put another long column of cricket farms to the right of the one I'm building now. We can still just drive down the middle and pick up all the crickets. As I place these, you'll begin to see that, well, they begin to stagger. And I don't know why, because the row to the left or the column to the left, I placed them that close. I'm not sure why I can't place these that close. But it's really not critically important, because what's most important is that my triggers are parallel and maybe line up with the row I would create to the right. once we make more money and expand a little further. So I'm willing to accept these in the staggered positions that they are, although it annoys my aesthetic sensibilities. I'd rather have everything line up. I know there's a mod, I think, that says I can place anything anywhere. I don't have that one. I don't need any more mods. I believe that my slow loading times and everything are directly related to the number of mods I have. And I've tried to take some mods out, but like I said, if I take mods out of a saved game, there's no way I can play the game until I put the mods back. So our new project will have far fewer mods. So now let's talk about the house, because I haven't talked about it yet. I love the house with one caveat. It takes a little bit of effort to get into the house. And I'll go to third person here just to show you what I'm talking about. You can't just walk up the ladder. You got to jump. And that's why you see the floor mat there under the tree. They're only $5. And sometimes I just don't want to jump up the ladder like this. But let's take a look at the house. It has everything you need in it, all the amenities. If we go inside, we'll see I have a place to sleep. I also have a place to change my clothes, and I have a place to store giant bales of straw. So if you want to drag those two big boys up the ladder and store them in the attic just to pull them back down again when you need them, that's up to you. For me, those two are going to stay. And that's about, I think, everything we're going to cover. In the next installment, for our expansion, I want to work on acquiring land. I know these fields are expensive, but the fields behind us, the rice fields, we can purchase them for 100 grand or less, and we can remove the pumps and we can make them regular fields. I do believe there might be some terraforming involved. We'll figure that out. But that's pretty much all that we have to cover. So, like I say, plow in one direction because you don't want to have a dead furrow. So, peace. Hold on. I'm not really leaving. I'm stringing together 2 clips because I didn't activate the ant farms yet. And when I went in to activate them, the game crashed after I activated like 5 or 6. And I'll show you that here in a second, but I repeated my attempt to activate the cricket farms at least 4 times, and there we go, just a crash. So this really is as big as you're going to get with a cricket farm. I can't add to it, and I don't want to just make a giant grain empire, otherwise that would be the focus of the series. The series focus was crickets, and it looks like we are at our limit for the game. I have a capable computer, but it is a MSI Project Zero. I'm not going to bore you with the specs, but it far exceeds the specs required. Here I'm demonstrating how the game crashes as I activate these cricket farms. When I get to about 6 or 7, all of a sudden I won't be able to activate and enable watering. It'll just freeze. We're not there yet, but because some of these are already activated. But as we get further down, I guess this is just a show of that we can't do it. It's not going to work. We can't go any further. I can't even activate the farms that I have. And I think I added 8, right? So I went from 23 to 31. And that might be the Waterloo. So I believe we crash on this one. I activated it and I hit enable. No, on this one we crash. I'll activate it. I'll change the output and I'll try to... No, again, it's made a liar out of me. This one's all set. And here we go. This probably is my crash. I'm trying to enable watering or change output. And this is just all she wrote. That's the end of the story. You're not going to go further. So we're going to come up with another project. I don't know if it's going to be mining. If you have any ideas, leave me a comment. I wasn't ready to be done yet, so I don't have a fully fleshed out idea for a next challenge. But I am open to ideas, so in the meantime, plow in one direction. You don't want any dead furrows. Peace.